you have that mindset, then you can conquer the world.
And I had to do things the way that other people wanted me to do it.
They're talking about being quote unquote successful, because everybody has different versions. But I'm so thankful and I'm so grateful for the things that I have. That aspect of what everybody thought being successful is, or everything that
thought it would give them, you know? And that also has to be hard too. Like, you lived your whole life working towards something, and then you find out that really they're not giving you that you know, that you're looking for, that happiness.
Hi friends, welcome back. So this is another episode of Dish and Makeup. So if you're new here, Dish and Makeup is when I talk my ish while doing my makeup. So firstly, I just want to say this. I realized in the first two videos that I did that I'm not in the same headspace that I was in before when I made the videos. So my energy is a little bit different. I have a lot of stuff going on personally, but energetic wise, I'm different. I'm not in the headspace now where it's like, oh well, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like that, and this, that, and the third. Like I was when I made those videos, I was in that type of headspace. But now I'm more so thinking of what is it that I can do now to make my life better and to do things right, whatever that means. So I want to show you more of how I am now, meaning my thought processes now. I think about things a lot. I'm a very reflective person. So I saw some things that I wanted to improve, and so I'm really praying that, you know, you guys rock with my new vibe. Like, it's not really a new vibe, but it's just me, and I want to show you evolved Ashley, not Ashley that still has some type of hurt and attachments to things that I cannot change and that I can't control. Because I've learned throughout my life that you are in charge and you are in control of your own destiny and to your own desires. So anything that you want from life, you can get. It may be easier for some, a little bit harder for others, but if you have that mindset, then you can conquer the world. So one thing, like I said before, I'm a very reflective person, so I'm seeing how my life is progressing. I'm closing out a couple chapters of my life. I'm gonna start my makeup, but I really just wanted to get that out there first before I really start to dive in. And I'm also gonna show you guys what I do for my makeup now. I try to go a little bit lighter than before. Before I was doing like real like cakey like makeup, and now especially since it's getting hot, I just don't even have the time for it. And I'm also using a new foundation. It's from L'Oreal True Match Nude, and it's a hyaluronic tinted serum. I'm trying to figure out, like, is there like an actual way like you could really be like allergic to hyaluronic acid? Because I noticed that anytime I use things with like hyaluronic acid, my skin really like breaks out. I'm like, I don't know if it's just like something that I'm doing wrong with my skincare itself, or if it really is, I might actually have an allergy to hyaluronic acid. I really don't know. Excuse me, sorry. But yeah, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm like, it wasn't expensive, but like I wouldn't buy something and then have to throw it out, you know. I mean, I might just give it to my sister if it really doesn't vibe with me. But I put on some camellia oil on my face first before I start priming, because I just need that extra little layer first of like moisture. It has a lot of hydrating properties to the face. So yeah, let's put on this primer and let's jump right in. Okay, so first I'm gonna do some highlight. I'm gonna highlight and contour before I put on my foundation. So it may seem a little old school, but it's really not. Like I used to do that all the time when I was in high school. Like, okay, I couldn't wear makeup like that in high school. Like I did, but I didn't. So like, like the foundation and all that stuff like that, I couldn't wear that stuff until I was like, even me when I was wearing it in high school, like when I was like 16 years old, that was still a little bit of a stretch, because my mom was not for me and my sister wearing makeup in school. She wanted us to stay as young as possible. It's like, I get it, but I really love makeup. I still love makeup. So like I was saying, let's get this on. Let's get the show on the road. So where I am now in my life is just completely different than I thought it would be. So like I didn't before like I really just, I don't know what happened to me, but I really just like transformed in regards to the way that I view things and the way that I want to represent myself now compared to, let's say, even a month ago. Because this is going to be episode 4, so it's going to be a month since I first started being on YouTube. So before like the way that I was living my life, like I was accepting a lot of subpar like things in my life, meaning just like the way that like things that like jobs that I was getting, and like I said before, just different little things. Everything to me in my mind was just so subpar. Like it just was not meshing with the things that I wanted to do and the way that I saw my life heading. But the reason why I was accepting that in my life, meaning like that subpar energy, subpar people, subpar places, people, things, is because I did not know my worth and I didn't know my value. And I didn't know that, or I didn't feel like I deserved the good things in life. I didn't feel like I was ever in control of my life at one point in time. And that I had to do things the way that other people wanted me to do it. So if it meant like people, places, things that were subpar or basically under what I knew I deserved, I stuck with it because I felt like I deserved it. I felt like I didn't deserve the best of what in my life. And then like through shadow work and through healing and all that good stuff, I eventually realized that worth, number one, is like a perception. Every single person on this earth is worthy, right? Every single person on this earth is enough. And every single person on this earth, they basically, whatever they want out of their life, they can have. You know, obviously I'm not speaking about socioeconomics and all of that, because obviously if you feel as if, you know, but if, you know, your actual outside circumstances are preventing you from doing certain things, then that is a completely different scenario, and I'm not speaking of that. I feel like I'm always going to have to clarify that, because I don't want people coming at me and being like, yo, what about this, what about that, what about this, that, and the third. Like, you know, I understand, like, you know, not everybody's going to have the same view as me, but I don't want people to think that I'm speaking from a place of ignorance, because I'm not. I'm actually completely cognizant of what people go through on a day-to-day basis when it comes to certain aspects of life that you just cannot control. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the subparness, meaning me working subpar jobs, me being in subpar friendships and subpar relationships that do not support me as a person. I realized that I did not understand my power, I didn't understand my worth, and I didn't understand that I could attract anything that I wanted in life. So it brings me to another point where it's like I just never thought that I would be able to do what my heart fully desired. Like I never did. I just always thought that, you know, whatever someone tells me is how my life is gonna go, and that, you know, I should go to school, or I should do this, and I should do X, Y, Z. And I had to realize that, I'm not saying that school isn't, you know, is not gonna be a part of my plan or a part of my life, because it is. Like I said in the last video, I am educated, and I'm not gonna stop my education. It's just right now it's not the time. It's not the right time for me to go to school, because I have all these things that I want to do first before I go back, because it was a lot for me. So I felt trapped by my own brain and by my own conscious, and I wasn't realizing that there was more to life than the expectations and rules that were placed on you since birth. So I read this book, and you guys should really read this book. It's called The 4 Agreements, right? So the 4 Agreements, it talks about, well, I'm rereading it, but basically it just gives you for me personally, it gave me a completely different perspective as to what life really is, as to how you can control your own life, and how to view other things. So like by not judging people, by constantly living, kind of like living in the now, and knowing that everybody's perception of the world is completely different. And it also helps you kind of break down society and all that stuff in a more in a different perspective compared to just saying, oh, well, the people are corrupt and this, that, and the third. Like, no, there's certain things that you just do not understand, and it's up to you to decide on whether or not you want to understand it. But with me reading that book, or starting to read that book again, and I'm also going to get into, because I know there's another book as well where it comes to talking about the master, like basically like mastery of love, and the basically kind of like the second book to the 4 agreements. It's also like a compilation book or something like that. That'll catch my drift. Just look at it on the Books app if you have Apple. If you don't have Apple, fine, whatever. Kindle, Amazon, I don't know. So basically, right, I was just sitting down and I was really thinking. I was like, who are we to judge people and to place expectations and concepts onto people when it can be completely different from what someone else's purpose is in life? How I started thinking, I started asking the question of how in the world can we as people start to place certain expectations onto others when we don't even know what that person's life path is going to be and what they want to do with their life. We just are taught that you should just go to school, you should have the white picket fence, you should have this, you should have this, and you should have that, when that might not be even anything a part of their, it's not even anything in that person's plan. I don't know. I just really feel like when you're bringing someone up that you should, part of it is also teaching people values and things like that, and teaching values, morals, and whatever else. But how do you know what is right and how do you know what's wrong? All of that is perception. One person can think that spanking is wrong and another person think that spanking is right. One person can feel this way and one person, it's just all of that stuff. It just like, it really taught me how to really just stick with your inner knowing and with their inner guides as to how you want your life to be. Because if not, if you keep on following what that person says life should be like, or what your parents should say, or what your parents say what your life should be like, and all that stuff like that, are you ever really actually living your authentic life? And do people really understand what living your best authentic life really is? So I'm looking down at my notes in my phone. I know I said I was going to stick to paper, but it's interchangeable. Let's say, because I'm talking about success, right? I'm also talking about being quote unquote successful, because everybody has different versions of being successful, and that's what a lot of people nowadays, they're really focused on. Oh, I want to be famous. I want to be this. I want to be this. I want to be that. And they're so focused on the wrong things that they're not really focused on the actual importance of self and the actual importance of just being. So they always go by a guide, like, in order for you to be successful, you have to go to XYZ school, and you have to have XYZ job, and you have to have XYZ amount of money in the bank, and you have to have kids, the house, the wife, or the husband, and the white picket fence, a dog, 2 cars, like, a cat. I mean, if you're not a dog person, I'm a dog person, but I'm not a cat person. I'm allergic to cats a little bit. Sorry. But like a dog person, a cat person, anything of that matter. Like, who told us that this was what life was supposed to be like? Because you can have all the money in the world, you can have all of the glitz, the glam, and all that stuff like that, and you can still find yourself being completely depressed and hurt and saddened and even sometimes evil, depending on who we're talking about. And you can have all of the awards and all the accolades, but at the end of the day, when you go to bed, are you gonna wake up and be like, you know what, I'm living my best life? Or yes, you know what, I'm so thankful and I'm so grateful for the things that I have, and you know what, I know that the next day is not guaranteed for me. It's not guaranteed to me. And so the question becomes, what are you doing in your life that should make you feel fulfilled? Is everything monetarily or material wise, I should say, is that bringing you fulfillment? Is that bringing you joy? Is that bringing you harmony and peace in your life? Or are you doing it because someone said that that's what you should do in order for you to be successful? What is your definition of successful? Because you see every day people who are famous and they have all of the money, they have everything that everybody else have wanted in their lives, and they end up killing themselves, or they end up like really just like
giving everything up because they realized that that aspect of what everybody thought being successful is, or everything that they themselves felt like was success, really was not success, or really was not giving them the happiness that they thought it would give them, you know? And that also has to be hard too. Like, you lived your whole life working towards something, and then you find out that really it didn't bring you the happiness that you thought it did. And that's sad. You know, for me, it's like, for me, I had to learn to be content. And I'm not saying content with the inaction, or content with not being able to have everything, but I had to learn how to be content in my own mental, because if I had to learn that if my mental wasn't right, like my mental body wasn't right, my physical body wasn't right, my spiritual body and my emotional body, they were all in tune and aligned together, that I would not be okay. No matter what I had in life, whatever possessions I had, whatever anything could be going good in my life, and then nothing's going good in here, in my mind and in my spirit. What is the point? I'm not gonna sit here and act like everything is all glitz and glamour and whatever else, because it's not. There are days where I really struggle, and where I really am like, I'm saddened sometimes, because it's just like I think about the things that I've gone through in my life, and there are times where I get really down about it, but I also, once I feel like I'm in that space, I just take the time, I sit, I look, and I become very grateful, very thankful, very, very grateful, because if I didn't go through all of the trials and tribulations that I went through when it came to my own personal life, then I would not be the person that I am today. I would not be thinking the way that I think today, and I would not have any type of motivation to be who I'm meant to be in this world now. So for me, being successful, when I was younger, I really did feel like I never had that, like, when I was younger, I never had that expectation of having certain things. I felt that I was one day going to be successful, or like, you know, have my own things. I always knew I wanted to be my own boss and to do all that other stuff, right? I knew, but I never knew how to get there. All I ever knew was people telling me, go to school, go to college, go to this, go do this, go do this, go do that. And I never got to authentically live the life that I wanted to live. But then within the past couple of months, I like really just sat there, and I was like, why am I listening to everybody else and what they want from me in my life, when what is it that I want? I had to ask myself, because it's like, I had to ask myself, like, why aren't you happy? You know, what is it that you're looking for in other people, places, and things that are not giving you that you're looking for, that happiness? And why aren't you giving that to yourself? Why aren't you living the life that you want to live? Because that's why you're not happy, Ashley. You're not happy because you're not living the life that you want to live. So go out there and kill it, and go out there and do it. No one's gonna judge you for living the life that you want to live. I think at the end of the day, some people, they give you advice, or they give you opinions about certain things, or they give you guidance for things to do, because that's the only thing that they know. And then I also like realized too, like, when you're looking for things, outside validation, outside everything, like when you're looking for everything that you want from other people, you have to start asking yourself, why am I looking outwardly for the love, for the care, for the companionship, for all of that stuff, when I could just be doing that myself? What is it that I'm lacking, that I'm looking for in the material life, that I'm missing in my own self, if that makes sense? For me, it's like people that I see that are very flashy, and they're very flashy. They always brag about the material things that they have. I notice that they're very empty on the inside. It honestly, it really makes me sad for them, because it's like, if you didn't have that money, if you didn't have that status, if you didn't have any of that, how would you view yourself, you know?
how would you view yourself if you didn't have any of that material gain or that material, like, do you feel like you wouldn't be like, would you feel like you're not important? Or would you feel like, you know, if I don't have this, if I don't have that, is that the end of your life? Like being serious. I'm not even like trying to be like that, but I really like want to know, like, do you really feel like you wouldn't matter? Would you feel like that? Or would it be a thing of, if you lost everything today, would you still be happy with your life? Because I always know that not everything is things. There's certain things that are constant, but your outside environment constantly changes. So it's like, if you lost everything, would you be okay? I mean, obviously you won't be okay if you lose everything, right? But I mean, within yourself, if you didn't have what you have now, would you be okay? And if you gain the things that you did not have before, would you change as a person? Meaning, would that humility that you had prior, would that go out of the window and you just become a very boisterous person? Because one thing I heard is that people, when you gain money, you don't change. You just become more of the person that you already were, or you show yourself more. So if you were like a scheming, conniving type of person before you had money, and then you have money now, and then people, they find out that you're a scheming, conniving type of person, you might have always been that way. And if not, like, 'cause greed, it just makes you, oh my goodness, greed is a thing. Oh my gosh. And I can't even, y'all. Okay, I need some suggestions, right? Because every single time that I do my hair, every time, like, okay, there was a point in time where I did not put any heat on my hair for like months and months and months. And every time I did put heat on my hair, this in the very front happens, where it just starts curling right back up. It's like, that's not the look I was going for. That wasn't the look that I was going for. Hair wise was not the look that I was going for. But yeah, it wasn't the look that I was going for, but I'll make it work. Anyway, so I'm gonna do something a little different with my lips. I'm gonna do one matte and then top it off with a gloss, because I just feel like it. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna line my lips and I'm gonna put on some Kitty from AQ Cosmetics. Yeah. What was I saying? If you will see you as a greedy person before money or after, that's probably how you always have been. So that's why I said I don't feel like money changes you as a person. I feel like it can boost your ego, but the actual core of who you are, nah, I don't think so. For me, right, I'm gonna close this off by saying this, right? So for me, being successful is knowing every day that I wake up and I have another chance. I have another chance to be the best person that I can be. So I can wake up, I have another day to learn new things and to be the best version of myself and to push limits that I haven't pushed within my life beforehand. But yeah. And then another thing too is that I am able to breathe. That I have the will and the want to actually fill my lungs with air, and that I can exhale the BS. Because at one point in time, I didn't want to. At one point in time, I didn't want to live. At one point in time, I just didn't want to actually enjoy life, because like I said, I felt like I was just trapped. I was so trapped in my mind about every single thing. And I really believed that I couldn't achieve anything that I wanted to. And I know that's a lie. I know that's an absolute lie. I would look for validation on the outside all the time. Like I said before, I can be a people pleaser. I really can. But now it's just different. My whole perception of life is just different. And I don't know if it's because I'm just getting back to the things that I used to love to do, or if it's just like my consciousness is shifting. I don't know. for me to be successful, I don't ever think of success in a materialistic way. Because if I were to be like a janitor or something, right? I'm not saying I would, but I'm saying, for example, if I were to be a janitor, by a lot of people's standards, that's not successful because you're a janitor. But who made that decision that that person is successful? If that person is alive and is breathing and is smiling and is very happy in what they do, to me, I would see them as a successful person. Because guess what? They're living their truth. They're honoring the actual person that they are and what makes them happy. And but I'm probably just gonna leave it off at that. I'm just very grateful for the life that I live and for the new changes that are coming. This past month has been it's been very reflective, and I'm just so eternally grateful to the Most High for providing me life and giving me the tools and the platform for me to really express myself and to be myself. And whether people vibe with me or not, I'm not doing it to get clout. I'm not doing it to be anybody that I'm not, and I'm not doing it to be I don't know. I'm just not doing it for likes. I'm not doing it for likes. I'm not doing it for subscribers. I mean, it's nice if you like my stuff and you subscribe and you comment. It's really nice, but I'm not doing it for that. I'm just talking because I feel like eventually someone will get the message that they need to get, or they can learn something, even if it's one thing from my video. So I'm just in a state of gratefulness, in a state of thankfulness, gratefulness, and I just am in a state of peace and of solitude and reflecting and healing and just all the good stuff when it comes to being when it comes to a self-actualization journey. So let me know what you think. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know if you've been feeling the same way too. People that I've been talking to recently, they've been feeling the same way that I've been feeling. So I don't know what's going on in the cosmos. I gotta look it up, but it's probably a lot of people that feel the same way that I do. So yeah, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also remember to follow my pages, Candidly Ashley and AQM Cosmetics. That's what I am wearing today. I'm wearing Kitty. It's a really pretty nude lipstick, lip gloss. It's not sticky. It's highly pigmented, and on top of that, it feels like butter. At least to me anyway, it feels like straight butter. I love it. Honestly, one of my favorite glosses. Like, all of my glosses are my favorite, but like Classy OG, Kitty, those are the ones that I really wear to just like, if I'm going out, just like to run some errands or something, I just throw it on real quick and I'll just dip out my house. Like, I cannot leave my house without my lip gloss, and you shouldn't leave your house without my lip gloss either. So click the link in the description box and follow my page. Yeah, that's all I have for you today. I will see you next week, okay? Look out for my stuff. Make sure to hit the notification bell as well so that you know every Tuesday I'm posting. I may post more, I may not, but right now it's just every Tuesday. So I will see you when I see you.